I think the honorable thing for our species to do is deny our programming. Stop reproducing. Walk hand in hand into extinction. One last midnight, brothers and sisters opting out of a raw deal.
Do not trust any friends or family members. I repeat, do not trust friends.
You know what else I didn't like about your Ninja Turtles cards? Is the wild disparity of what Ninja Turtle brand I'm getting. Sometimes you got your classic turtles, you got your classic, but Raphael's got that fucking do-rag thing over his whole head and the mask.
You're like pissed. You're like, you mean like if you get some artist out there decides I'm gonna lock down a Michael Bay fucking Raphael here and just piss off the nerds.
Yeah. I just think that's like, not only is it inconsistent with the brand itself is just so scattered throughout the different like iterations of Ninja Turtle. I don't know. Maybe that's a virtue that I'm not understanding. Yeah.
No, it's true. So. And if I'm a casual artist,
mm-hmm.
And I'm not casual. Sorry, these guys are all professionals. If I'm a professional artist and I'm like, I am going to get involved in like whatever, somebody's contracted me out and I'm going to draw X amount of Ninja Turtles cards. What fucking kind of fuckface am I if I'm going to draw from Michael Bay? Like that should be erased from canon in any normal Ninja Turtle fan's mind.
I gotta be honest, I've only seen bits of those Ninja Turtles movies, the Bay produced Ninja Turtles movies. So that's probably an episode at some point for me to grapple with with that.
I feel it's going to be a hard thing for you.
Yeah, I think so. I like on a fundamental level, I think it's a stupid look for the character to have like the whole head all red and stuff. I don't know. Like, it was dumb for them to wear bandanas in the first place, but you kind of accepted it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. I like the old layered art. I like that edge.
Yeah. I just think they could do better, but I also feel that that's constantly the case with the Ninja Turtles. We've talked about this numerous times. Like,
right?
How often does it just get like handed over to? Even though those guys are so comic books and so rich, they, for the most part, up until recently, they didn't access like A-level talent.
Maybe this is what we just talked about earlier was the Hasbro handshake. It's like, are you going to give it your best B effort? You fucking right we are. You're on board.
We're going to maximize profit. We're not going to hire anyone who has like an actual pay rate.
And we're going to let down the fans.
Oh, yeah. But the fans are like rabid dogs, and they'll eat any scrap we throw at them. So
they're like, well, you guys got a job at Hasbro or West Coast.
Yeah.
That's how we roll.
Yeah.
Jesus. They operate like a real cartel.
Oh yeah. I was gonna try and transition using a thing about like, who else wears masks across half their face. Yeah. You're on the Extinction Agenda with James
and Chris,
and a man on the internet most likely to somehow torture a man with a water cooler bottle. Well, I guess you can't imagine. I do have I don't understand what he did in that scene. It was
I had to
implied waterboard.
I paused the movie to go on a Reddit forum that was like, he raped that man.
Oh wow!
And anybody else that doesn't think that he face fucked that guy's a coward.
Jesus.
Oh,
I was like,
that is
what?
That doesn't even make any sense.
It was basically like a 50-50 back and forth in the Reddit forum.
Wow.
People being like, you should. It doesn't make any sense because what's his name?
We haven't even
Thanos.
Josh Brolin.
Is Thanos gonna sit there, put chapstick on, and watch this guy fucking give a blowy?
All right, we should today on the Extinction Agenda, we're talking Sicario. Denis Villeneuve, written by what's this guy's name? Sorry, I didn't write it down. Chris.
Taylor Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan. I think I did write it down somewhere here. But
your dad's favorite creator.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Like we'll get into some of that, and then this movie also has a Johan Johansson soundtrack, which again, I'm a big soundtrack head, and this movie wouldn't be half as good without the soundtrack.
Oh,
Although
totally.
it would still be very good, but not great in any respect. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll. Where do I begin? So one of the reasons I put together this suite of movies that we've been watching, I already said this in the other episodes, but Dark Knight Returns, Zero Dark 30, and now Sicario, because I found myself after Ice Agents were in Minnesota and all the things that are still going on, but we're not really cognizant of because there's a fucking war in Iran. How did that happen? Like how did the post 9/11 environment create a situation and suddenly like Gestapo tactics are just prevalent in the street? And like putting aside the fact that America has always been a fucking really awful place, something different had happened post 9/11, and I wanted to try to like kind of tell that story with movie. And so we've kind of arrived, to my mind, in the present day. Like it's changed once again. I didn't expect it to have changed so much, but the still, though, this is an Obama era movie that could very easily be racist grandpa first term movie, or even Biden movie, or current racist grandpa term movie. And I've always really enjoyed it. I don't know. What did you guys think?
I was shocked a little bit, because it looked. To me, like I've seen the cover of this movie before, and also I looked at the cast, and I remember the time frame. Like I remember the 2015 sort of like flavor a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've seen The Town, and stuff like that, whatever. So I don't know why this sort of passed by me. I expected it to be a bit more generic than it was, but it was really grimy.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
it was a really different kind of anxious thriller.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I don't know, that was like really just the opening sequence is really what built it. That opening sequence had me locked in because of the way that they staged the that all those bodies in the house and stuff.
Oh yeah, I think
It was
even
just a lot of grotesquerie right out of the gates, and you were like, "Hey,
yeah,
this is going to be kind of a little bit of a different cartel movie." But maybe
yeah.
different cartel movie because if I think about Rambo,
No, the movie opens up with like you're immediately in the desert, and then you got the soldiers, doing their quiet walk, but they're not, they're FBI agents. But what's the difference? And the music's fucking, and then you get immediately to like a truck rams a building, and everybody comes in. Like it is immediately propulsive and immediately anxious and thunderous and fucking intense. It's a great opening. So yeah, and then that's horrible with all those bodies. Everybody's fucking barfing.
yeah, and I guess it's just like the way that like. And that's a reoccurring thing with the Mexican cartel is just the way that they dispose of human bodies is just like just they're like that's just the price of whatever drug life or drug war, like the human
Yeah.
lives are just like bleh.
Mm-hmm.
They're mowing down families, or one bribe that you decide to not take and we'll just kill your whole family and chop them to pieces. It's like so,
But
and then there's a propaganda piece to this too, right?
oh, for sure. Yeah, there's a bit to say about that. I think. The Chris, how about you?
This is another one that passed me by at the time, but I'd heard good things about it, and I regretted not seeing it. You see the cast. You heard Del Toro's performance was amazing. I liked it as a movie. As a piece, I think with this and Zero Dark 30, kind of caught me off guard as like pieces. I felt for a while like prior to the last 5 years that movies had kind of been shitty for a while.
Hmm.
I'd missed these ones though, you know, and
Yeah.
the cinematography, like the soundtrack, like they're so beautifully shot. And this succeeds on a lot of fronts. I agree with you about the soundtrack. I've been obsessing about it, and I didn't realize that it was such a big, like, you know, it's an Oscar nominated soundtrack. It's been
Hmm.
rated on a number of publications like best soundtracks of all time. I didn't really piece all that together. Just like as you're
Hmm.
watching the intensity of it, it just kind of gets under your skin. It builds tension, but there are also moments of like just surprising beauty in it too. And I just like,
Yeah.
yeah, just like it does add this gravitas and dignity to the film.
Yeah.
Um, I got a lot of. I think another movie where it's almost like sidelines Emily Blunt by the end of it, and that's always a weird move to make your
Hmm.
protagonist sort of like ineffectual by the end. It's a bit like it derails a bit,
Yeah.
to my mind, and just like the sort of like the Heart of Darkness, or Apocalypse Now kind of journey, which, you know, is interesting, but also, yeah, I definitely want to talk about the propaganda stuff.
Yeah. Johan Johansson, I own a number of basically anything you can get in vinyl from this guy. I own it, but except the Sicario soundtrack, and I think Mandy as well, and I guess the Mary Magdalene soundtrack. Which anyway, the yeah, he's exceptional. I just always really enjoy it. It's wonderful background music. We first encountered him with modern classical. It was circa 2001, 2002. It was considered like a musical genre, and I guess it still is. But anyway, he showed up quite a bit. He died of a medication overdose. Actually, sorry, a cocaine plus flu medication overdose.
Oh
Uh,
shit.
yeah,
Classic.
which is
Ironic.
That's the Heath Ledger style.
that's right. He went out. I don't know, just like it made so much sense.
He
Just
didn't
his
listen to
soundtrack.
Josh Brolin's speech.
Yeah, snorting this shit. I just think it's like it just makes so much sense to me because this guy, like the music that he makes is so unsettling at times, and alien, and but also like like you said, Chris, very beautiful. Um, uh, how do we get to what do we think of Josh Brolin in this? Or actually, no,
Oh,
let's start with actually Emily Blunt because I think that makes more sense. We meet her first, right?
Yeah, I think she's always downtrodden in this. So I thought that the continual like weakening of her position to the end of the movie sort of made sense. Like just
mhm.
to push back on Rev there, but to not push back on you, but like just to bring that back around. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's just I think that they were like I think that her gender is like weaponized against her, and that's like a commentary about cartels and about like the like in the police force and in FBI, in military, military rangers, stuff like that. Like these are all going to be like male dominated, and it's going to be like you're going to have to just push and push and push and push if you want to be even involved in it. And I feel like that was on the radar for them. I don't know if I'm speaking to it maybe as well as they intended, but
No,
they definitely they wanted to have some critique on the misogynistic behavior.
I think yes, and then also, she represents what I guess racist grandpa and fucking tipsy McStagger would say is woke warfare.
Yeah.
Like her first experience, so she's immediately represented as capable. So even when she goes into the building and they storm the building, she's coming in, and the guy shoots at her and she moves right, and then she kills the dude or someone else kills the dude. Um, she immediately asks like, why'd he shoot? There's no one here. So she's immediately like goes problem solving in that space. And she's one of the individuals who can handle the bodies in the walls. She really wants to look at it, and I think also more defining because we don't only get like probably 5 minutes of her. When the government agency shows up, the guy walks up to her and he's like, I don't know, DOJ is here and they want a statement, and she says, tell them the truth. And so that immediately figures her as like someone, I don't know, truthful, right? She's pure. But she's also, this movie is going to reveal like, wow, like I'm watching John Barenthal like about to like choke her to death.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, that's part of it too. Like,
yeah,
like it was just sort of like, but I don't really think the Benicio del Toro character was like showing her, you know, that he was dominating or anything like that. Even though that's sort of like, I guess that's not really subtext because Josh Brolin comes back around and tells her she's basically like, you used yourself as bait.
yeah.
So, but
I like that
but
she's,
yeah,
I like that she's smart though. Like she's the first, you're a fucking spook. Like as soon as she like gets wind, like she's piecing it together. Like these people are like out of jurisdiction. Like something's going on here. They're not telling us the truth, and she's on them the whole time. I love when she's like it all kind of like the stuff in the tunnel and like well, Del Toro shoots her like in the bulletproof vest, like catch your breath and get back up there. But then she's like, just I'm telling everyone like what's going on here, and Brolin's like that's a tactical mistake. That would be unwise. Like it's it's great that she's so dogged in her pursuit. It's just she's really, I guess, that is part of the movie's politics. Is that you're absolutely right. She's handcuffed. She's ineffectual because she operates within the law.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we're getting kind of ahead of ourselves. That fucking, I don't know, that sheepdog mentality, back to American Sniper that began post 9/11 March, that idea that like, like Benicio del Toro's speech at the end, it's a world of wolves now. We're all like trying to protect people against the wolves. Although I guess actually maybe I should be more careful about that. He's not saying we should be the sheepdog. We should be the wolf. That's a totally different thing. But he's still very the only reason he is so kind to her is because she reminds him of his daughter. Mm-hmm. So even vis-a-vis fucking Benicio del Toro's I don't even know what to call it. Realpolitik, like this barbarian criminal enterprise thing. She's figured as his conscience, but she fucking fails, right? So anyway,
if she's even his conscience, because like really, like I think one of the most disarming moments in the whole film was when they show up at the tunnels and Brolin just tells her, okay, you guys sit in the car. Like, yeah, we just need you here because we can't operate on domestic soil without the presence of another agency. Like, and that's like, they're quite content to just like let them hang out to dry there.
Yeah, nothing bad will happen to them, but they're just like, oh, we don't need you anymore. Goodbye. You were and this is, another reason I sort of put this with Zero Dark 30 is because it's the you see all this from like a higher political realm, like when she tries to tell on them essentially, and she's talking to her director or whatever, and he was like, I'm getting this from people who were elected. The borders have changed. But she chooses to go.
He even in the tunnel situation, he shoots her. don't point your service weapon at me again. Just shoots her straight in the chest. So and then like at the end, there was a moment where she puts her gun back together and hangs over the balcony and just like aims it at him. She's still been sort of like disarmed, like she's been diffused from the situation, but it still I feel that it gives her back something.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I like, honestly, it's the point of this movie is to show that she is ineffectual, and maybe that could allow us to, like, I don't know, pivot to some of the propaganda elements of this movie, which I don't know.
Yeah.
So I have a theory about Denis Villeneuve and just in general. I know that this wasn't written by him, but I think I've said this in conversation before, but I don't know if I've had reason to say it for the podcast. His central theme, so far as I can tell, is borders. The thing that he's most concerned about is like territorial incursion.
Huh.
You see it in Blade Runner 2049. You see it in Prisoners. You see it in Dune. You see it in Sicario. And I don't know, probably other movies that I'm just not thinking of at the moment. And I don't know, like it's just an interesting project for him, but I don't like, it's not really, he took up this project because it kind of vibes with that theme, I gather, but it's not his story. It's more that what's Taylor Sheridan or whatever. Can you tell me about this guy, Chris? Do you know anything about him?
See, he's only kind of coming into my conscious, like, and this is another puzzle. This is actually the first thing I've watched by him. Recently, Julia, my wife, proposed we watch this show that he just created about oil barons or whatever in Texas, and I was like,
Okay.
fuck that, I'm not watching that shit. That's like for my dad, you know. But like a lot of people like, and so like Yellowstone, like during the pandemic, like I don't know if you like, I talked to a lot of people who like obsessed over that show, and he's got this sort of like this grip, like this sort of like territory carved out where he, much like when I gave Stallone the benefit of a doubt that he was apolitical, when we talked about Rambo, and that proved to be wrong. He maintains that same sort of stance, that he's he there's a story. I was looking him up a little bit, and he pushed back against some like Fox, like this TV exec that wanted him to do more like hard, like, you know, like pro kind of right wing content, and he had a dispute about that. But I don't trust people like that anymore. That their motive isn't just like profit and, you know, as wide an audience as possible. So, you know, whatever. I haven't seen those shows, can't really comment on. This movie gave me a little bit of it, but it's I have to say it's credible. It's well handled.
Yeah.
I could see this going a lot worse in less capable hands. So it was interesting.
Yeah, well, no, I think so. Like, I get this person now that I've thought about it in these terms. Like, I'm probably going to give him the benefit of the doubt on something like,
yeah,
fucking like whatever that show is. The sorry, what's it called?
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. Yeah. I'm not likely to watch, but I don't know. I would check some of it out. Like, there's an intelligence at play here.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, but I'm like, but at the end of the day, it also recapitulates this whole like, when they're going into Juarez, and and I know that's not the writer, but I mean, like, obviously that's the purpose of this movie, is to make you fear the Mexican horde.
Welcome to Juarez, and it's like explicit. Like, this is Juarez is what happens when
they
they're
dig in
or whatever. Yeah, when they dig in, like they're coming for America. It's happening next.
Yeah.
Well, and the mayor of Juarez was pissed. They called for a boycott of the film.
Interesting.
Like, the mayor hated this movie.
Well, because it's so.
But then it's also sort of it's a bit of a limp statement to be like, "Oh, we've got the cartels way more under control now." Like, well, what do you mean? So, like, that scene, has that happened before? Well, yeah, maybe, you know. Like, it's like, so it's glorified, and you're getting like the worst scenarios of the worst. But if you hone in on the worst of the worst, did those things actually happen here and there? Well, if they did, then, well, I mean, that's pretty awful, because those things don't happen anywhere else.
That is exactly
not like that.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Like, I looked at, and you're exactly right about that. Like, it's not based on any particular event. It's sort of like like a blender of things that cartels do, and like with like some imagination on top of it. And
Yep.
like, so part of the narrative of this movie is that Taylor Sheridan, like, he did so much in-depth research. He like went and talked to agents on the border, and he like went and like, you know, kind of got people's experiences. It's like, so what's your source on this then? Is the CIA, like the notoriously truthful, not manipulative organization that would have no ulterior motive in shaping culture, has informed like the way you're approaching this shit, like, which is kind of funny.
Well, particularly since, like, I don't know, I think that this movie thinks that it is criticizing. Well, I think it is criticizing or casting a light upon these, like, really. So when they first have they're getting ready for the mission to go to Juarez, right? And it's just the good old boys, just the fucking good old boys hanging out. But you stop to think about it. It's like, it's just various interdepartmental. These people have worked together numerous times, very frequently. They all know each other. They've got funny in jokes, like manly in jokes. And then when Josh Brolin shows up, they're like, oh, and we got ourselves an all-star affair here. And they have this code amongst themselves. And it's, I forget my train of thought on that one, actually. Sorry, what am I responding to?
Oh, the CIA,
Well,
the CIA, and like
it was whether or not the
yes!
CRA was like twisting the narrative.
Yeah, okay, I'll cut that part out. So it shows all this intergovernmental cooperation or whatever, like this militarism within the domestic organizations, and like it presents it as a sort of conspiracy. And I think that it presents the whole thing as conspiracy. Like, it's conspiracy all the way down. Like, the CIA is controlling the cartels, and sometimes you need these bloody interventions in order to control them with our CIA. Like, it kind of glorifies conspiracy, but at the same time as that, it thinks that it is pointing out the horrors of conspiracy, and maybe it is. You know, where do you think we learned it?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it's interesting that it's inspired by Zero Dark 30, and I don't know if that's part of what brought you to.
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah. So Sheridan said that he was inspired by that film, things like that. And
what?
And I always thought, yeah.
Wow.
So, and then I was thinking how, like, what we talked about last time with the, like, Zizek's comment that, like, if you do something in a certain, you know, if you don't have a pushback against those sorts of narratives, then you're basically like an unwitting agent to them, even if you think you're being apolitical. I felt that this was like partaking in the same sort of thing.
I think so. I think much worse, though. But again, I'm a huge apologist for Zero Dark 30. I do feel that.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, but no, I don't think it gets away, because like they're out to go kill someone who's categorically bad. In Zero Dark 30, in this one, the person's categorically bad, but like fictional.
But a fantasy, a fantasy of like all the cartels, like the arc, like the avatar of cartels, who like. Yeah. Here's an element, like, I'm not to apologize, like crime, like that sort of crime touches lives, like kidnapping, murder, like that sort of thing. But often the violence is targeted between rival factions, right? And like sometimes people get caught,
it's not random
in the crossfire. No, it's not random. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's like the acid thing, like this. So there are all sorts of stories about how cartels will like dissolve bodies in acid, and that's sort of how they dispose of people so that they can't be identified. But like then you get in this, like the head cartel guy is like, he threw my daughter in acid. Like there's a sadism that is explicit in the way that they operate. That is an exaggeration at the very least.
Yeah. Or maybe not, you know, like they might, well, I mean, you get the horrible stories, right? But
any one person trying to cause intimidation and terror, like that's part of how they operate, right? Like to try to like frighten people into not, you know, to taking bribes, to toe the line. Someone could step out of line like that for sure.
Yeah, but
it would be
no, what were you going to say?
Oh, just that it's not business as usual. I think. I'm no expert.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought you were Italian. What the fuck, dude?
There's
he,
that code.
That's the code. That's the non muerte code.
That's right.
That's I made that up. The yeah. I think this one's really bad. At the end of the day, I think it's like this movie fascinates me at the same time as I recognize that it has a high level of toxicity. And I do put it in the same category as Zero Dark 30, but it's like on a spectrum of how that particular approach to shit goes on in movies. I mean, yeah, this. Yeah,
well, Alejandro's like a super assassin, right? It's like a pure hitman fantasy sort of thing, you know.
Well, he's got a fridging story, and he's kind of, they give him kind of a Punisher thing.
Yeah,
I was a good man. I was a prosecutor. You know, I worked for the state in Mexico. I like his first introduction. It's at the 18-minute mark. We don't see him for 18 minutes. And Josh Brolin just calls him, that's my bird dog, Alejandro. That's the first thing that you hear about him. And it's pretty true. This movie,
apparently Benicio advocated to have dialogue cut out.
Oh, I heard that. I did hear about that.
For himself, whatever. And I thought that's kind of interesting.
It works. You're like he's kind of a Wolverine character. A Wolverine / Punisher character, because he's motivated by the fridge, but he also like has, similar to how Wolverine has Kitty Pryde or something like that. He has what's the character's name? Kate Macer. Yeah, and so he's bringing her through the heart of darkness. Like you said, Chris. Like she really needs to follow him and where he goes.
Yeah, I think during the John Bernthal strangulation scene too, it's implied that Alejandro saw that coming from the get-go, like that he monitored the whole thing.
It's not. It's basically like, I don't think it's implied. Like that would have to be the case.
Yeah, because he watches her go into the bar and just I think he kind of does like a digested thing, like he's like, ugh, because he just knows what's gonna happen.
Just gotta save another woman from being raped by John Bernthal.
Apparently, John Bernthal, fun factoid, told Kate, the actress. Oh my god, I don't know why I can't remember.
Emily Blunt.
She's what's his name? John Krasinski's wife, isn't she?
Sure.
Anyway, he said, "Go ahead. I used to be a boxer. Like you can hit me. Like so do everything full force." I guess she did, but I do think that I think the choreography for that fight sucked. I mean, she's a tactical agent. Like that's some bullshit. Grab you around the waist and swing you around, and I think they did her kind of dirty. He could have eaten an elbow or a couple or like a 2-piece, But
yes,
I just thought it was just like a flailing woman being thrown onto the ground, and I was like, I didn't care for that. I guess she did get the gun.
Yeah, well, she's smart in the moment.
There was a quick exchange, but yeah. Anyway,
she's kind of a Clarice.
Oh, go ahead.
Just to build off that, she's kind of a Clarice Starling from Silence of the Lambs. She's very smart. She's very dogged about things, but at the end of the day, she's sort of physically ineffectual to anything that might happen.
Yeah, I like that. I like that analogy a lot.
She has a great shot, Anyway, sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
She did have a good shot. No, I didn't catch how she pieced it together. She saw the wristband, but why did that connect?
Because she saw them at the bank. when
They
they
were the money rolls were wrapped in it.
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
so
I
she
had
pieces stuff
forgotten
together.
yeah, I had forgotten a little bit myself until the sort of scan before we chatted today.
I
I've
like the
seen
cheap. I like the cheap. Like he knows his partner, her partner, and they just like completely disarm you, even though you in your heart the cheap way the narrative's gonna take that scenario. You know,
I can't
but you're
I
just
can't
like,
say, I can't
he's a
say I
bro.
honestly expected that to happen. But it I
He's
like
always a
and
grimy actor.
I like how it was explained. Like afterwards, they were like, he was just trying to shake you down for what you knew. But like she sort of overreacted in the situation and like tried to attack him, and then he turns murderous in that moment.
I like that escalation. The like just like it's sort of a decision in the moment. Like he's getting angrier and angrier. Like fucking attack me, and then he's just like,
Yeah,
you know what? He starts choking her. You know, like he doesn't even know what he's doing.
Well, I think at some point, yeah, there's but it's all the lines are crossed over the course of like a 3-minute fight, right? So like he even there's a scenario where he's like stop, and he's like if he can get her to
yeah,
stop and talk, like
yeah,
he'll de-escalate, but
yeah.
he realizes she won't.
Yeah, and like not like it sounds like we're like, oh, bitch deserved it, but it's still it's interesting because like on the one hand, as the audience member, you totally like, holy shit, she's in a lot of trouble. The cartel is here, so we kind of go along that ride and assume he's a murderer,
Yeah.
but the information we receive afterwards makes us sort of re-evaluate the thing that we just saw. And like, yeah, if you like actually look at how it played out, the movie was honest about like the actual event, but it's still managing to make it about something else for the audience.
And that makes sense
Yeah,
for her, like in the moment of the sort of like, just like she has to respond with like lethal force, basically, based on the
yeah,
situation she's in. I liked also how she's like just increasingly like going around buying cigarettes from people, like just starting
yeah,
again. And your partner's like, yeah, like, your eyebrows look like shit. Like that's like the just like the worst insult for many women. I thought that was like really on point.
Well, it's funny because all of that just equals her being like she's like hanging on by a thread just to hang in there with them, and she's she's I don't know, she's like a whatever they call her, like a sheep, right? She's the sheep, she's the prey,
yeah.
So like it's just she can't contend with the forces that are against her.
And I think that like that's the trying to tie it back to like sort of the propaganda. I don't think this is part of like the propaganda element, but it's part of like the ideological element. Like so she like her first conversation with Alejandro after he has that fucking dream. I'm fine. And the only way that Benicio del Toro can sell that fucking. So she says to him, "Is there anything I should know?" And he says, "You're asking me how a watch works. For now, let's just keep an eye on the time." And I was like, "Well, that's a really wonderful formulation." But it's really condescending to her. Like these machinations are beyond your woke liberal bullshit. Your rule abiding, and like she's actually probably not in essence herself. This movie is so far right that the drug busting FBI agent is the moral center. And but even in that way, like this goes up to the highest chains, like it's all this vast conspiracy of crime, and it's sort of tied to human nature. Like back to that, like if 20% of the population wasn't snorting that shit, like this power structure wouldn't exist.
Yes. That's exactly it. And I think in some levels this movie reminded me of Seven, and I think that's why, because it was like, well, a lot of grimy shit, and that promise, like we're going into Mexico, and like here it's almost like a gang jumping, like like a jump in, like right, like she's being initiated even though they don't actually want her, but it's like we're gonna show you some real shit, do what Alejandro tells you. You're not going to understand anything. By the end, it's all going to make sense. And then like the cinematography, like going over Mexico, like it's just this like vast place that's just like it's going to swallow you up there. And like the the buildings, the locations, what do they see when they get there? Like the buildings, people hanging from like a bridge or whatever, like decapitated bodies, and like the sort of like he's like a tour guide, Josh Brolin. Like, it's brilliant what they do. They like make people think that like these people must have been involved somehow, and he's sort of like they're just it's like a fucking Dante
game,
like, taking them through hell.
Game recognizing game.
Yeah. Your theory of the competing gangs,
gangs. That's right.
Organized crime. Yeah. It is. That's exactly it. It's like we're going to cause like what are we going to do? We're going to cause chaos. Like that's the strategy.
Yeah. Well, what are you going in there to massively overreact? And another thing so Josh Brolin's character with the sandals, very nice touch.
Yeah.
And the fucking loose shirt and stuff.
He's great.
But it's pretty much the CIA agents that we saw. I can't think of the actor's name, but Dan in Zero Dark 30, like the relaxed attitude, and bad fucking news, but like turned up into action star quality.
Dan has more guilt. Dan has to get out of there. Like he's, he makes that joke, like, like I've seen too many naked guys, I guess, but like he's cracking, but like, no, Brolin loves this. He's so smarmy. Like he just, more eat it up.
Yeah. And they're such shitheads. Like the moment they when Josh Brolin meets up with his nerd CIA pal, and they immediately get into this workplace banter about having an STD. Just like there's no like, hey, how you doing or whatever. There's just like it's just really aggressive talk at any given moment. Insider shithead talk.
It's really funny.
It's beautiful. It's fantastic.
Probably gonorrhea.
Yeah. Red flex means it's gonorrhea, probably.
What's it look like? And the other guy just keeps going the line on this fucking bullshit conversation. It's like just male dominance. It's
and when like later on when Kate's gonna talk and Josh Brolin takes her off to the side, tell her that would be a big mistake, like fucking manhandles her down, holds a gun to her. What's a little more interesting to me is like the threat of sexual violence against her Reggie. When the fucking when the Delta Force guy like smashes him to the ground and holds the gun, just lay back, let it happen.
Lay back, let it happen. Ease into it.
Yeah. It's I mean it's fucking horrifying, but it's getting to what you said, Chris, about like it's an amalgamation not just of like the gang activity, but if you're Delta Force, CIA, like all that gets smeared together as well into one big thing, including criticism such as like I would assume a threat of sexual violence is a criticism.
I think so.
Yeah.
Del Toro like too, like we can't like you can. I think this movie is not presenting him as the good guy, but he's presented as the guy who is like exhausted all of their means and is now it's that, and it's justify the means thing. It's might makes right, and like that's sort of the real politic of it. But like he's not cool. Like he's not like well, he fucking murders those kids.
He is cool.
Not in front of my children. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
Time to meet your God.
Yeah. And then like at the end when he's like shows up in her apartment, like I need you to sign this paper to say that everything's legit. And he's like just like fucking like just like caressing her face while he's got a gun under her chin. That's creepy as fuck. Like this is not your hero. Like he's what happens when someone's pushed too far, I guess, is what the logic of this movie wants to say.
He is
I read him described as the anti-hero.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, I was gonna say that he is the spirit of Spanish vengeance or something, right? Like he's they use this medical cure like this is gonna be like an inoculation or a vaccine or whatever. Like he's the vaccine. And so it allows, like, usually the nationalistic metaphors in the 20th century often refer to germs and bodily
Cancer.
infection. Yeah, all that shit. And so this is a situation where like this participates completely in that metaphor, where we're gonna, I don't know, use the disease against itself in some way, in the way of a vaccine. And then it calls it immediately. Yeah, fucked up. This movie's fucked up. I really enjoy it. It's another movie where like I never get tired of watching it. I haven't watched it as much as Zero Dark 30, but I've given this probably more than 3 views before we started talking about it. It's fucked up.
Oh, you mentioned earlier conspiracy. I didn't want to let this slip. I just forgot about it when we mentioned that. But like after they come back so they pick up what's his face, the brother of the main cartel guy,
the gang brother. Yeah. Okay.
Guillermo. And there's that great like the tension on the bridge, like the sort of like scene which like
I know what you're talking about.
They're stopped in traffic and like there's like gunfight on the bridge. But
incredible.
Yeah, it's so tense. Like and the music again, like perfect. Like it's such a good scene. Once that happens, like somebody says, like this is going to be on every newspaper in America. Like they're just like so contempt. No, it's not. It's not even going to make the papers in El Paso. And like that's like right there. Like they're controlling the flow of information, and the sort of hint that like you don't see like a tenth of like what actually happens out here. And like that's sort of the promise that the movie's making, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. And also I think, but there's another way of reading it where I was more inclined to read it. I do see like it honestly could go both ways easily. But I felt it was like meant, so they go from, it's fucking actually really stupid if you think about it. So they're like military precision, driving out of Juarez, getting from Mexico into America. And what's the first fucking thing that happens? Like nobody saw this. Nobody had a drone footage to fucking warn them that this was about to happen. Immediate gridlock. Like just right out the hop. And we're stuck in traffic. And they're like, we got to fuck up. What do we do now? And you're like, guys, what the fuck? But the movie really doesn't give you any time to think about that. You're just taken from one tense position to another. But the second position is so weird. What if they were just stuck in traffic all of a sudden? Then what? Obviously violence, but
I was actually, that scene was shocking to me because it looked so fucking dangerous.
Oh yeah.
But the funny thing about it was like how easily they controlled the situation because they had like Delta Force guys with them.
Yeah.
Everyone's so just like a crack shot.
Like, like just sweaty cartel guys in the car with like, a pistol each just is not a real concern for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another imagining, sorry, of the there's a story that like as I was looking into the sort of writing of this, they went on a tour. I think Taylor Sheridan was a part of it, or maybe Denis Villeneuve. I'm not sure which one. But so they go into I think they went into Juarez, and they had an armed escort like that, and it was like like they're looking for threats and like people tailing them, things like that. But like nothing happened, of course. And it's just sort of like it's like, well, what if something did happen? What if he got stopped in traffic? It's like
what if? I like that. Yeah, it's fucking and get to the fantasy elements. Yeah, they are just fucking gangbangers, right? Like just fucking scummy, ugly people with tattoos, right? And like you don't even understand like were they actually there to be like assassins or something? Like why were they there?
That's
what
an
actually
insane plan.
Yeah, what actually happened? Like there's a universe in which it like one thing didn't actually cause the other. But maybe they did. I don't know. Like there's just, the movie doesn't give us anything. We're left to just feel threatened at any given moment, and that's the ultimate propaganda element of this. It's just like you really should be worried about the Mexicans. Like, that's what this movie says.
But if they got that guy back, they would have been caught in gridlock still. Like just sitting there awkwardly. Like that's yeah, what a strange thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's you don't question it because it is that threat. It's like the tension, like the sort of like, yeah, they're dudes with guns.
Yeah, and once
the
they fire the gun, once they fire the gun, suddenly traffic opens up for them. Okay, we're getting out of here. What? you had fucking police officers just signaling you through. Go, go, go. Traffic. It's fucking ridiculous. It ruins the whole thing. It's hilarious. Anyway.
But still awesome.
Yeah. I think that Villeneuve is the like he's the Ridley Scott of our time. Not philosophically, because I think they have more against each other than in common with each other, maybe.
Mm.
I don't know, that'd be an interesting project sometime. But anyway, these movies are always so beautiful. Always, like, each movie that he makes has its own sort of it all looks the same in the same way that a Ridley Scott movie always looks the same. So there's a style and an intelligence and I don't know, just a cut above. Gotta hand it to him. It's one of ours.
Yeah, I think that the it's in his aesthetic. Like, it's just great. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's hard to describe. It's just they're like overarching shots. He pulls back farther than most directors would. Even somebody that's directing an action movie like Jurassic Park or something, you usually don't see someone pull a camera back like that for like an arts, like the way that some of the artsy shots happen. Like, especially in that opening sequence when you're really pulled back over the houses in the neighborhood. That's aggressive. I even read that there's no fucking way that they could do any of that shit at the border, so they rebuilt the Juarez border crossings.
I guess they would have had to, right?
And they made it their own studio set. Basically, they just built it by hand somewhere. I'd love to see a little bit of more like behind the scenes footage on that. Like how you built your own fucking border crossing, but like to get those kind of shots, you need to have a real power over your
the
vision.
landscape.
Yeah, and to do it and have me not be just staring blankly at something boring is it's a gift that not a lot of directors have.
I think so. And like those Dune movies, I really enjoy them. I watched a lot of the behind the scenes thing. I liked Dune 2 better than Dune 1, I think, but I watched the behind the scenes of like how they filmed stuff, like to the full, even though it's very CGI, there's still a lot of like, he puts a lot of materiality behind it somehow. Like everybody still has to run through this and that and do like, and there's like, you bring in like backloaders to stand in for elements of the set, you know. So he, even though it gets overlaid with the digital stuff, like there's still something physical there that everybody has to go through. And I don't know that I just feel that he understands that about action in movies and stuff. Like none of this, even though it was completely fake, no one in there like no one's like ta 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 ta. You know, like shoots everybody in the head, and the body's down in like a fraction of a second. He makes it feel real, and that's a really great quality.
Concur.
Concur.
So we got to tackle the sequel, right? At some point.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I think so. And if there's going to be a
well, yeah, and then apparently the third one they're slogging around a script right now.
Yeah, it's like something. It's like Sicario, Capo, or something like that. So we're going to see we'll see it from the other perspective.
Apparently,
that feels like the straight to video one.
Apparently, the third one, no, they want to bring back everybody.
Oh, Emily Blunt too.
Emily Blunt as well. Yeah,
they won't bring back Villeneuve. He's out, man.
The second one they wanted to bring back, or apparently they didn't bring back Emily Blunt because whatever the director felt as though her character arc was over. But to me, that sounds like she told you guys to fuck off. But yeah, if they get her back for the third one, that would be. To me, that's a very impressive thing to have happen.
It's going to be awful.
Well, I don't yeah, either you're just paying them all to be there, or you've got something.
Oh, I guess honestly, this person, I've never a lot of goodwill. I got a lot of goodwill based on this movie. I know what I'm getting into with this person's work, though, and so it'll just be kind of like a crafted clash of civilizations police drama.
The second one is very fondly reviewed.
Okay, well,
which I was surprised by. I believe even higher rated than the first one, if I'm not mistaken.
That's crazy. That's wrong.
Oh yeah, hey, you guys can deny it all you want.
Yeah, well, we're gonna, don't worry, we're gonna go down this dirty road. I can feel it happening. Actually, no,
sorry, not higher, but still a 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb, which is insanely high.
Too high
for a B sequel.
Yeah,
I have a theory about that, but we'll.
I'm happy to be wrong. Well, is this the Yakuza thing? You had some ideas, or you wanted to check out the other movies?
I mean, all of the above. I do want to look at some Yakuza. I feel like these sorts of stories get told over and over again with like the ethnic group of concern of the time. So like the absolute inhumanity of the Yakuza in like 80s and 90s movies, the the obsession with Italians in gangster movies, like it's just a floating signifier that gets put on different groups because Hollywood America loses its goddamn mind whenever like there's crime. Like, and I mean, like, obviously these are complicated issues, like lives are touched by crime, like you don't want to be around, but there's also that magnification that blows it up into this thing that's like gonna just topple society at the same time.
Yeah, actually, that's a really interesting project because like The Godfather is not about barbarians at the gates. It is, I don't know, it's a little different, right? It is more like the state apparatus trying to like assert itself during a dynastic struggle.
Yes, that's true. It's a different breed. Yeah.
Still, though, you're not wrong. Like this is like a true crime fantasy scenario. You could very easily see this being an episode of a television show. Like where propaganda just loves to it's the playground of propaganda. The old telly set. And this could easily be there. And clearly was, because like in spirit, I guess, because this Taylor Sheridan fellow who seems to have like 1 million TV shows.
He's doing well for himself.
He's a hero.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
just like
Alejandro. He is. Yeah. You know what? I was glad he got revenge. I was glad he got revenge.
Me too. It was a little too quick for my taste. Maybe could have stepped up to his crotch to the face. Let us really think about it a second time.
Advanced interrogation techniques.
Yeah. We I don't know, man. I guess we'll see in the future when the cover.
No water went down the drain. Just saying.
That's well, okay. And then it really sounds like he's being. I'm not going to put it at audio at the end, but if I did, you would hear that. Like it's basically like humpy sounds, that kind of thing. But let the people go on Reddit. Yeah, go on Reddit. Decide for yourself. The drain is dry, man. So I don't know what to think.
Draw the fighters to you and make some noise. Don't follow me. I'll be fine.
What are the rules of engagement? Weapons free, my friend. Weapons free.
Weapons free, boys.
Good luck.